What's up, guys? Ricky Widmer here along with Brandon Swanson. You're noticing two things right now. What are they noticing first, Brandon?
Well, the first thing would be that I'm not on the side that I usually sit on.
No, he's not. He's on that side, I'm on this side, because we're at a different location here in the MVP studios. Number two is our background's different. You just see a solid color behind us, but Brandon, you like the beach, right?
Love it.
Boom, we're at the beach.
Boom.
Nice sun in the sky, chairs in the background. You want to go to outer space? Boom. I can't breathe. We're in outer space now. All the stars are shining. You know what? I like the beach. Let's go back to the beach.
I like the girls there.
Yeah,
They're nice.
I like the beach too. But you know what? We're talking college basketball, so you know what? Let's just put some kind of college picture behind us. Boom. We're at a stadium where whatever I decide to put behind us for this one. But Brandon, we are talking about the national championship game, kind of giving our little recap of it because we didn't want to clog up the primetime podcast with it. But before we get into it, we got to announce some bracket winners. And buddy, it's nice to award you the winner of the bracket pool. Brandon gets the Amazon gift card because he won the bracket pool. Thanks, guys, for playing, and that's going to do it. No. We said that an MVP guy couldn't win it, even though it's great to know that no one can stump one of the MVP guys. But we got to give this prize out. Show me the money, the bracket of the year winning the MVP bracket pool. Show me the money. Go ahead and message us on the back end of our channel. I think it's the About page. You hit send a message. We will get you your Amazon gift card for winning the MVP bracket challenge this year. But Brandon, we're talking about the national championship game, and I got to start with this. I mentioned on the Primetime podcast, I'm going to start with it now. I kind of feel like we need 4 quarters in college basketball. We need 4 quarters because it was insane to have 13 minutes of double bonus, bonus, and then double bonus basketball.
Yes, it may have. We're not saying this if the fouls weren't being called the way that they were last night. But two, though, Ricky, is you have to look at the fact that even if we have 4 10-minute quarters and referees are still calling fouls the way they are, we would have quickly gotten there anyways, and it still would have been slow. It would have been choppy slow into 4 quarters instead of 2 20-minute halves. The way that game was called last night, specifically the second half of that game.
Well, you didn't like that Karnowski call, the flagrant ones. That went against Joel Berry and Karnowski.
Well, no, but when you look at it in real, when you see it in real time, you're like, okay, well, Joel Berry may have definitely fouled him. But when you slow it down, which the referees, of course, cannot do, and at that point in the game, clearly it was a foul against Karnowski. The one that really got me was when there was a 3-pointer shot by Gonzaga. They missed it. Complete air ball. 2 referees calling North Carolina's ball. One referee comes in and says, no. Guy tipped it. They show the replay. Didn't hit it. And then what does Gonzaga do? They hit a big 3. They take the lead. Something like that.
Okay.
It's
Joel
like
Berry had your back. He got the 3.
No, he got a 3 on the other end. But the referees in that second half, they go back and look at that. I would be surprised if they didn't say amongst each other, we really stunk in that second half, which I believe they did.
Yeah, and you guys can check out my Twitter. I retweeted Rich Eisen, who quoted a tweet from Spice Adams where it's basically one shining moment with the referees. But besides that complaint's now out of the way. This was an entertaining game.
Oh, all the way around.
It was one of those where it was entertaining, but at the same time, it wasn't the same kind of entertaining as we had that last year. The one we had against Villanova and the Tar Heels, this game was not going, like, me and you were like, man, we want a game like last year. We weren't going to get it. We kind of knew we weren't going to get it, but it was one of those we wanted it to be a last-second shot kind of a thing. But this game, to me, was indicative of both these team seasons. Because, you've got the injuries from Joel Berry throughout this entire tournament. He's the most outstanding player of the tournament. You have Justin Jackson, who everyone was talking about coming into the game, basically no-showed. Hey, Justin, where are you? You're nowhere to be seen. And then the Zags. This was kind of what we thought. They got down, they came back. They got up, the Tar Heels came back. There were 12 or 13 lead changes in this game. Biggest lead for the Zags was 7. Biggest for the Tar Heels was 5. So this was the game where it's like, this is what we needed this season. And to me, this was the perfect way to end this season.
I thought we saw two absolutely outstanding teams in the championship game, and two teams that certainly deserve to be there. I think Gonzaga, you just really have to tip your hat to them. I mean, even if you're North Carolina, I think you have to say, wow, what a great opponent. You know, last year with Villanova, we knew we were getting someone who was really, really good. They were hyped throughout the season. With Gonzaga, they should have probably been hyped throughout the season, but too many people were trying to hate on them and say, you know, they're winning all these games. They're not in a very good conference. But Gonzaga did a whole lot more. We talked about that on the Primetime podcast. They were able to overcome a lot of adversity, win a lot of really good games against some good opponents, and that's what got them there. North Carolina on the other side, it was the revenge season. It was the year.
Well, you could tell they wanted it. Well, they wanted it so bad.
Well, absolutely. But I think that you could also tell that Gonzaga wanted it as well. And I think that, again, I said throughout our videos and our podcast talking about March Madness from the time it started, even leading up to it, from the time it started and then all throughout, that Gonzaga was the most complete team in this tournament, and I think that they absolutely were, and I still think that they were the most complete team. North Carolina was also a pretty darn complete team as well. They showed it last night. But I think that at the end of the day, North Carolina just had that a little bit more hunger in them. Not hungriness.
That hungriness.
But hunger in them because of what happened last season. If last season didn't happen for North Carolina, Gonzaga could have taken that game last night. And even with it happening, Gonzaga had an opportunity and was close to being able to take that game last night. Their threes weren't falling as well as they were throughout the rest of the tournament, especially in the last game. But this was just a fun game. This was so much fun. One thing that I want to mention, though, very quickly, and this is a completely different topic that we're not going to go off in. Interesting. I've talked about it before. I've talked about it in my college classes when I was taking them. With the win, bonus money of $925,000 to Roy Williams. The players, they get T-shirts and high fives. Should college athletes be getting paid? Because basically, we're promoting the school to other people by promoting these athletes and what they're able to do and what they're able to bring to the university. That's a huge question.
Well, then, hey, that's another discussion for another one. That's why we have the one and done rule. Guys saying, hey, you know what, I'd love to maybe come back, but cha-ching, cha-ching, I've got to go and get my cash money in the NBA. But just kind of last thoughts about the game. The thing that I really thought that was interesting was there was a stretch, like you said, the Zags weren't hitting their threes. They were scoreless for about, 5 minutes, 8 minutes?
8 minutes.
But they scored 8 straight points off of free throws. That's what really kept them into the game. The fouls and making and cashing in on those free throws while they were, and then they got their shot back, they got back into the game, and then late it just wasn't enough. Turnovers early in the second half also killed them.
Well, I'll bring up something for you that I know you'd love to talk about is at one point it was 8 straight points scored by none other than Nigel Williams-Goss.
Oh, I love I have a feeling that, you lose Karnowski, you lose Matthews. Those are your 2 big starters. Zach Collins may be going to the NBA draft. We're not exactly sure on that yet. I think Williams-Goss comes back. He comes back for a redemption tour his senior year because I'll tell you what, there was a part where he rolled his ankle, and like you even said to me, Brandon, he ain't coming out of this game. He is not going to sit on the bench with a minute and change to go.
No.
He's going to play in this one, and he's not going to make any excuses. We're not making any excuses. Mark Few ain't making any excuses, but I just have this feeling, this inkling inside, that he's going to come back and come for a redemption tour in his senior year. What are your final thoughts on this game?
Final thoughts on the game. It was such a well-played... I won't say a well-played game because it was not a well-played game, but it was such an exciting game, I would say, for the fans. It was such an exciting game for us to watch, and I think that it really came down to 2 really, really good teams grinding it out. You could tell. I mean, on the broadcast, they were even saying, some of this, maybe Justin Jackson isn't playing as well because of fatigue. You could tell these teams had given it all, not only the entire season, But this entire tournament, they had put it all out on the line to get to that game last night, and they were putting everything else that they possibly had into that game last night. They put all their emotions into it. They put all their hard work into it. They put every part of their heart into that game last night. It was such an exciting game. I don't think out of last year with Villanova in North Carolina, this year with Gonzaga in North Carolina, we couldn't ask. We could not have asked for a better tournament, honestly, a whole tournament, and then a championship game at the end in these last 2 seasons. We have been spoiled with great college basketball the last 2 seasons, especially with this last year. Thought it was a great game. And I'm excited for the offseason, but I'm really looking forward to next year.
Well, this is where you guys come in. Let us know down below what you guys think of the national title game. Also, show me the money. Make sure to message us to get your Amazon gift card. Do that on the back end of our YouTube channel. I want to thank you guys for watching this video, and as always, have a good day, everybody.